If you prefer a data-based buying guide, then you are in the right place. Welcome to our channel. We are techies, not salesmen. No flashy words or biased opinions. We made this list based on the big data collected from customers, manufacturers, as well as our data providers. Thanks to our exclusive unsupervised learning AI system, analyzing and comparing all these products couldn't be more accurate or efficient. We list the best buy products and their competitive advantages. This list includes options for every type of consumer. If you want more information and the updated prices on the products mentioned, be sure to check the links in the description below and feel free to subscribe. Okay, now let's start our list.
Hey guys, Tony from Thermaltake here, and today we're going to be going over the installation for a brand new Flow 360 AIO. For this video, we're going to be installing it in an Intel 1151 motherboard, as well as an AMD AM4 motherboard as well. So let's go ahead and open up the box and see what's inside. Okay, so included inside the packaging, we have our Intel 2011 standoffs, our AMD standoffs, Intel 1150 standoffs, thumb screws, fan screws, radiator screws. We also have our AM4 standoffs, our retention clip, backplate with included pads, our general AMD bracket, and our Intel bracket as well. Just to round off the RGB Vive, the Flow also comes included with 3 of our 120mm Ring Plus fans, controller, and included cables as well. And finally, we have the cooler itself, consisting of the cooling block as well as the radiator. So first we're going to go ahead and start off with just getting the fans mounted onto the radiator itself. For this, it's pretty straightforward, but it's also a very good time to figure out how you want to orient your fans and take care of cable management. For instance, on this installation, we ended up going with a pull configuration, as it would allow us to view the fans a little bit more from the inside of the case, and also gave us a good opportunity to tuck some cables behind some screws just to make cable management easier down the road. Okay, now that our fans are taken care of, time for the mounting hardware. To start out with, we'll be grabbing our 2 rubber pads and attaching that to the back plate itself. Now, in general, it's a little bit nicer to go ahead and put the back plate on the board before installing it in the case. However, since our motherboard is already pre-installed in the case, this is going to be a little bit more similar to what you would see with an upgrade. Now, to save some time and make things easier, we went ahead and installed on the back plate and secured it using the standoffs, just so that we wouldn't have to revisit that later when we were installing on the cooling block itself. So now it's time to go ahead and get that radiator mounted. This is actually one of the reasons why we chose the View 21, as it supports a front-mounted 360mm radiator. Mounting the block for the Flow is pretty straightforward and simple, as all you'll need to do is line up the brackets for the pump with the standoffs themselves, and then just go ahead and secure it with the provided 4 thumb screws. And since we had a chance to show you guys the fan controller before installing it, we thought this would be a good opportunity to show you some of the connections. Right here we have our Molex power. It's pretty straightforward. Next we have our USB controller. Now this is actually going to be attaching to a motherboard header and then straight to the controller itself. Then we have our fan headers. These are pretty funny, as they look like USB 2.0s. And they'll just be connecting into the controller just like that. And we have 5 available ports as well. Now, mounting a cooler onto AMD's new AM4 socket is actually very reminiscent of Intel's 2011 socket, with the only major difference being that you'll be removing these two top mounting brackets and then just going ahead and securing your standoffs, followed by the cooler itself. Okay, so now that we have our software open, we can go ahead and take a little bit of a better look. Now, first thing that you can notice is that there are 5 panels open. That is to correspond with each of the ports off of the controller. And let's take a look over here. You'll notice that the number 4 is actually set as if there's an error. Now, this is because by default it's set to the Ring Plus fans, so we'll need to go ahead and switch that over to the flow. Once we do that, we can go ahead and see all the different controls for the pump. And let's go ahead and move back. So now, since we're using the 360, there are 4 of these panels being used currently. However, if you're running the 240 or the 280, you'll actually have 2 leftover ports, so you can hook up even some more Ring Plus fans. Now, to begin with, we have our fan control. It'll have a reporting for the RPM readouts of the fans. You can actually change this individually or among the whole set. There's a few different values such as performance for getting those cooler temperatures if you don't care about noise, and then silent just to go ahead and keep the rig silent, that way it's not bothering you. Nice part about this is you can actually deselect PWM and then adjust the values on their own. Let's see here, but for this instruction we'll go ahead and leave it as silent PWM. After that we have our mode section, which we'll get into in just a little bit. And then LED brightness and some color settings. Now, what's actually kind of cool about these color settings is if you're trying to get a specific color and you don't want to use the color wheel, you can actually go ahead and input manual values. Right here, I actually already have it set up to show for blue, so let's go ahead and put that in. We'll deselect the LEDs that we just changed, and let's change a couple more really quick. Let's go ahead and make this red. So knowing that 255 is the max, we can make red 255, everything else 0. Punch that in, and as you can see, those LED values there have changed over to red. And we'll do just one last one. And let's make it green. RGB, why not? Okay, and there we go. Red, green, and blue. So enough with this. Let's go ahead and take a better look at some of the different modes that we have available, and actually 2 new modes that we have as well. Okay, so we actually have a total of 12 modes for the Ring Plus software. However, for today's tutorial, we'll only be covering about 2, as those are the newest additions to the family. If you want some more info on the other 10 modes, go ahead and check out the link in the description for a video Mike did actually covering the Ring Plus fans and the software as well. So to begin with, this is actually one of the new modes that I found really cool, and it's thermal mode. It's going to go ahead and change color corresponding as to how the temperature readouts are in your system, moving from blue for pretty cool to green at a good running status, and red, which normally indicates danger, meaning your temperatures are pulling up a little bit higher than they should. I've generally yet to see red, so we'll kind of watch the transition from blue to green. Now to go ahead and put some load on the system, we're just going to go ahead and open up a benchmark really quick. And as you can see almost immediately, just from a quick jump, the system goes ahead and changes color. And we'll just go ahead and let this run for a little bit and see if we get some more color variation. Let's go ahead and exit really quick so we can watch the system switch back down to blue. And notice now that the CPU does not have any load anymore, just went ahead and temperatures returned back to normal and LEDs readjusted to the coolest color. Next up is cross mode. For this we went with a cool little blue, purple, and white theme. just to go ahead and show off a little bit more for what it can do. So as you can see, the two light bands kind of move back and forth along the sides, meeting each other and bouncing back each way. This is pretty customizable. You can change any LED you see fit to any other colors you might like. So let's see here. Let's turn some of these purples over to red. What else is cool? We'll go with some yellow, because why not? And then we'll mirror that on the other side as well. And there we go. Let's just save the settings. Now we're all set. Now just do remember that if you don't save the settings and you restart your computer, you will unfortunately have to restart over. So that is a pretty important thing to remember. If you do have a few different settings that you like, you actually have about 5 different profiles that you can interchange between as well.
Hey guys, I'm George and this is the Hydra Series H60 liquid CPU cooler. The H60 has been one of our best-selling coolers for years, and we made it even better. The Hydra Series H60 features a 120mm radiator, which will fit in just about any case that has a 120mm rear fan mount, mid-tower ATX, micro ATX, or full-tower ATX. The H60 is a Hydra Series cooler, which means it uses liquid to cool the CPU instead of air or copper or other materials. What are the benefits of that? Well, for one, it can be quieter and smaller form factor to get the same cooling performance you can out of 3 pounds of copper or aluminum that would take up a ton of space inside your case and impede airflow. The improved pump head has a new cold plate that improves performance significantly over any 120mm cooler we've ever launched. And it looks cooler too. The white LED backlit logo adds a touch of flair to any build. The Hydra Series H60 is compatible with all modern Intel and AMD sockets, and installation is completely tool-free. It's easier than ever, you'll be done in minutes. The Hydra Series H60 comes with an SP120 PWM fan, which ranges from 600 RPM all the way up to 1700 RPM. So whether you want maximum performance or minimum noise, you can choose that through PWM control. The improved copper cold plate and the higher density radiator team up for the best performance we've ever offered in a 120mm radiator. The new version of the H60 is our coolest, quietest, and best performing 120mm radiator cooler ever, and it looks cooler too. For more information, head on over to Corsair.com. Experience Corsair's best ever liquid cooling performance with our Hydra Series RGB Platinum coolers. Hydra Series Platinum features vivid RGB lighting and is built for extreme CPU cooling performance. Our Hydra Series Platinum coolers come equipped with ML Pro RGB fans with magnetic levitation bearings, so you can have outrageous performance at low noise levels. And with 4 hub-mounted RGB LEDs, they look as good as they perform. Our Hydra Series Platinum coolers have a thermally optimized cold plate and a low noise pump design for quiet yet high performance cooling. Platinum also has a 0 RPM fan mode, so with IQ you can control the fans from 0 to 2000 RPM, letting you decide between high performance or low noise. IQ also allows you to monitor your coolant temperatures, allows you to change your fan lighting and speed profiles, all from a single intuitive interface. And with 16 individually addressable RGB LEDs, this is the best looking pump unit we have ever made. The Hydra Series Platinum comes in 2 sizes, 280mm with the H115i and 240mm with the H100i. Like all of our coolers, it's easy to install and comes with brackets for all the modern sockets. I like the Hydra Series Platinum so much, I put it in my home PC. So for more information or to just buy one right now, just go over to Corsair.com.